Hi, I'm Steve Schroeder. I'm an amateur photographer in Duxbury, Massachusetts, and I'm president of the Duxbury Camera Club. And I was one of 25 artists who were contacted by the Duxbury Rural and Historical Society to participate in their Re-Imagining Bradford project. And this is a great project because it tries to bring some life to these old buildings that we see around town. Each of us as artists were asked to present a piece or two that says something about the Bradford house and the people who live there. And I have a couple strong women in my life, and so what really spoke to me about the house was the four sisters who lived there in the 1800s. And so I did photographs that I thought would show some aspect of their life and their activities. They were independent women. They were engaged in the issues of their time, including abolition. So one of my photos is a hand taking a book from the bookshelf in the Bradford house. And that book is Uncle Tom's Cabin. The other photo I did is called Elizabeth's Chair, and it's a picture of a wheelchair, which is actually a very interesting piece of furniture. It looks like an old stuffed chair that you would see in a living room, but with wheels, small wheels on the bottom. And I tried to use some special lighting effects to draw attention to who might have been sitting in that chair. For instance, I have a pair of slippers in front of the chair that I lighted up. And through these photographs, I hope to give some sense of the people who lived at the Bradford house and the activities they engaged in there.
You mentioned that you found that photograph of the improvised wheelchair very moving. Can you say why? Was it the thought of an aged person having to figure out in that day and age how to get around? Or?
Well, it was sort of the end-of-life aspect of the sisters' lives at the Bradford house. They were very active people, very engaged, as I mentioned, and I thought showing the fact that one photograph indicating what they did and their activities, and another showing how we all become frail toward the end of life, and this was where we end up very often.
Do you know how old Elizabeth might have been when she was using that chair? In that day and age, older or elderly was much younger than today, I think.
I'm not sure, but I think she would have been at least in her 80s.
Did working on it with the other artists change the way you felt about the town or the history, or did people talk about what they got out of it?
People did, but the one thing I found most interesting, I think, was the connection between the people who lived in the Bradford house and were engaged in activities of the issues of the time, such as abolition, the connection they had with other people engaged in similar activities around Massachusetts. For instance, the people in Concord, who were very interested and active in these same kinds of issues. And it struck me what a small world it was back then. Of course, there were many fewer people around, but I enjoyed learning about that connection that they had.
Thank you.